They're causing a bit of a stir, worn by the world champion Hunter McIntyre himself, but noticeably absent from the remainder of the pro field. Let's take a look and see if the Puma are the Hyrox go-to shoe for you. The Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 2. Quite a mouthful. The upper of the shoe is really simple, and to be honest, I really like that. It's going back to basics and it's working. Puma haven't overcomplicated this and it fits really nicely. It weighs in at 230 grams in a size 10, which is actually 39 grams lighter than the Alpha Flies, which I previously reviewed. I've done long runs, speed work, compromised runs, and I found them to be really well balanced. They fit perfectly for something like a half marathon, which for all my clients is what I always say is a really crucial distance for Hyrox. The pace generally converts over, so whatever you're running for your half marathon will generally be around the same pace what you're going to run those Ks in after you've blown out your legs on a sled. So the fact that they fit into that box, it's a good start. The shoe's a 6mm drop, which is a little bit more aggressive than the Alpha Flies. I find it really good for racing in. It's something that to be considered when you're looking at if you're a heel striker or a midfoot striker. The 6mm will generally lean more towards the midfoot strikers. Something to consider if this is the shoe for you. We've got a really solid rigid carbon plate in here, which has got a really great responsive feel to it, and a little bit firmer foam underneath, which is probably why it's a bit more durable than something, say, the Vaporflies. My Vaporflies sit in a bolt until race day. They wear down that quickly. The Pumas have been versatile and well-rounded, and have really responded to everything I've thrown on it. The heel of the shoe has a little bit of padding, and I found that to be really comfortable, and I've experienced no rubbing. Makes for a really good lockdown on those all-important sleds. Keeps your foot nice and firmly in place. The downside for me is the tongue. I do actually get a little bit of slippage in there. It moves around a little bit when I first put the shoe on. Roughly after about a K or two, I either stop noticing it or it falls back in place, so it's not a big deal, but it's just something to point out. That does move around a little bit, but not a deal breaker for me. How does it feel? How does it handle? It's not as aggressive as some of the other super shoes on the market, which is a bit of a negative for me. I like something a little bit more aggressive with the rocker feel of Asics Metaspeed Sky, but the Puma does allow you to feel in control. It's very responsive. It gives you that ability to control your pace and allow you to settle in and dictate it for yourself instead of feeling like you're being pushed forward by a pair of shoes. You don't feel like you're getting carried away, and it does allow you to settle into that race pace while still being a very fast shoe. Moving on to the all-important grip. Puma have nailed this. I've had no slippage from the sleds to the lunges and feel completely in control the whole way. It's the multi-directional pattern on it. It just makes it feel like it's sticking to the floor. They've done an exceptional job on that. Yeah, that's a big tick in the box. Cost. Comes in around £175. Now, for a carbon plated shoe, that's at the lower end of the spectrum. And it's also really versatile. You can race in it, you can train in it. There's not much I wouldn't do in these trainers. So for £175, unless you're like me and you just like buying trainers, this is a really solid choice. Overall, I'd highly recommend these shoes. They feel fast, they're really grippy, really reliable, responsive, and you just can't go wrong with them. Unless you're not a big fan of two different coloured shoes.